Hello. Hello, everybody. Randy, are we live?
We are live.
Randy?
We should be live. Hopefully we're live.
Good.
Are we live?
Oh, hello. Hello. Is this Memorex or is this live? Randy, good day to you, my friend.
Good day.
It is great to see you, as always. I want to welcome everybody to Addition Through Distraction, your twice-a-week vodcast, where we work on things generally of a nerd-based, art-centric thingy. We're really good at these intros, Randy. Watch, you're going to be stunned. And we also talk about things.
Taco Bell things?
Yeah, there's Ticos and the tacos. So yeah, but what we do is we work on stuff, and Randy keeps me company generally while I do it, and we talk about things, and yeah, if that's something that sounds like it might be up your alley, and with that amazing sales pitch I did, how could it not be?
Said up your alley.
Alley. He said alley. Yeah, back door. Yes, back doors and alleys are cool.
Yes, we are about 12 years old. Thanks.
Yeah. So just to let you know right up front, this is what you're getting. So if
you signed up for this,
if that puts you off, then we wish you a good day. And for those of you who stuck around,
good day, sir.
Thanks for that. I still have a lot of crayon bits over here, Randy.
I said good day. Sorry.
I said good day, sir. All right. But
bits.
Yeah, if that's up your alley, if that's the sort of thing that blows up your skirt, then please hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button. Randy, also, I noticed that when I was doing the audio test, there's a little logo with the Q and kind of the Q Dragon, Stanley Kubrick. He's on like a subscribe button. If you click that, I guess that also takes you to the subscribe function.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm. So, but if you do that, if you hit the subscribe button, it'll give you access to the bell icon. And if you click the bell icon, a couple things happens. One, it directly rings that bell here in the studio. And also, every time that bell rings, a nerd is let out of a locker.
Yay.
So you're doing God's work when you do that. So we appreciate that.
A swirly is avoided.
A swirly, yes. A swirly is avoided. And any time that you can do that, I mean, it's one thing to make a memory. It's an even greater thing to take away a negative memory that prevent it from even happening. So your work in helping us rectify the multiverse is much appreciated. All right, Randy. So yeah, that's and then also they can also share, right? They don't need to just hit the buttons. They can do it the old-fashioned word-of-mouth way, right? Just tell your mother, tell your brother, even tell your secret lover. Studio Johnny Q. That's where we take that sweet nerd stuff and we try to make it just a little bit better.
So in that post-coital afternoon delight chit-chat, you can make sure to share.
What do they call that? They call it pillow talk, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you're whispering sweet
Whisper
nothings.
little sweet somethings and somethings.
Hey there, secret lover. I know we just got done doing something that we ought not been doing. But you know what just came to mind? That's Studio Johnny Q. God damn, they make some cool stuff down there. You know what, baby? You know what, baby? I could not agree with you more. See, I'm trying to be a little bit more inclusive, Randy, right? I too think that Studio Johnny Q.
Hey, guess what? The M50 screwed up again.
Hey, well, that's a new twist on an old favorite. Yeah, I think it's just going to be uncooperative today. I'll go ahead and...
You're going to have to try to switch out that cable and stuff.
Yeah, it's either, I think, the cable or the power supply, so we'll work on that. I think I probably have a HDMI.
Is there a way to test a power supply without having, like, a big piece of equipment?
I'm not exactly certain. Randy?
I need to break out my oscilloscope.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm not very good with the electrical nature of everything's. But, like, I've seen folks wield voltmeters and types of things for that. I don't know if that's the sort of thing that you're talking about.
Whatever works.
I mean, what is it that you're wanting to test it for? I guess would be my question.
No, to see if the power supply is bad.
Bad in what way? Like no power at all,
Like
or
it's
wrong
naughty.
power, or
You're a bad boy, Mr. Power Supply.
So you're wanting to know whether or not the power supply needs to be
punished,
spanked, needs a proper spanking.
Yeah, yeah.
Although,
does it need spankings?
Is it? Although, maybe it's it would prefer a caning. Maybe
it's hardcore.
A thrashing, a proper thrashing.
Does it make us want to make it
yes,
cut its own
yes,
switch?
The answer is yes. I don't know what the question is, but I know the answer is yes.
Go cut your own switch, power supply. Ooh. You naughty boy. All right. Anyway, this is getting awkward.
you naughty dandy. Oh wow. Once again, we are off to a capital start, my friend. I am doing little bits of cleaning here of some of the leftover crayon bits.
Crayon bit.
Crayon. Most people don't know that crayons were invented down in the South, in Louisiana, in the bayou. That's that's why they're called crayon.
Crayon.
Yep. Little known fact. Also, this is where we put the disclaimer in, is that about everything that we say is probably either a lie or just an ignorant proclamation, so that has no relevance in truth. So please be sure to do your own fact finding and take nothing that we say as law.
Hey, Carol.
Hey,
what's
there.
up?
Hey. Oh, man. Let's see here, Randy. I'm still working on the crayon. Yep, that was down from the swamplands.
The Creole crayon.
That is funny that you mentioned that, Randy. That the Creole crayon, that was the original name for Crayola.
Was Crayola?
Yeah. See, you knew that. You did know that, right?
You're channeling Parf right now.
Yeah, I come by it natural. My brother, Parf. He is, for those people who don't know, he is a liar, and the truth is not in him. But I've never met a more kindly natured liar in all my life. Like, he just does it just to make things interesting, right? He's not trying to cheat you out of money. He's not swindling you. But man, nothing makes him happier than getting you to believe something that is not true. Talking about what blows up your skirt, Randy. That definitely. And the thing is that he's had an interesting life, and so he'll tell you some things, and they'll be like, "That can't be true." And then it's like, "Oh yeah, that part actually was true. No, that thing was true." Right.
Carol said, "Ouch."
I don't know, ouch. I said he's a well-natured liar. I love him to death. He's brought a lot more imagination in my life, that's for sure.
Yeah, you'll never have more fun being lied to.
Yes. Yeah, you'll never feel better about it. You will never feel better about the falsehoods
you'll never be more entertained
that you willingly accepted. All right, I'm going to go ahead and put a new rag over here, Randy. All right. What do we have on our agenda, my friend?
I don't know. I don't have that open yet. I'm still looking at this the new element we've added here.
Yeah, no worries. We're trying to, if any viewers from some of the previous episodes where we were trying to do some picture sharing, we were trying to implement an easier way to do that. Randy, while you are doing that, one thing that I will mention kind of in our intro here is we broke 200 followers on Instagram.
Yay!
Yeah, that's really cool. I think when I looked earlier, I think we were at 205 actually. So
nice.
That's been really nice. And just anybody who is following us on Instagram, I just want to give you guys a shout out. The likes that you guys give, a lot of people have given some really kind comments and shares and things like that. It's super encouraging. And we spend a lot of time down here by ourselves in the undersea grotto here in the depths of Studio Johnny Q. You had a fun submarine ride to get here, right, Randy?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And my little yellow submarine.
Yeah, the decompression, the advancements we've made in decompression has come light years. We couldn't do this a long time ago.
Yep.
You would have got the bins, I think they call it.
Mm-hmm.
which is
decompression chamber,
which I think is different than the green apple quickies, Randy.
I'm pretty sure that
Similar.
is different from the green apple quickies.
Yeah, I think that's a different type of bins. But yeah, but we do appreciate down while we're down here in the underground lair. That feedback that we get on the grams has been super encouraging. So just want to thank anybody who is a cross platform supporter of the studio. Thank you. All right, I think I'm going to take this and let's do a little swappy.
Oh, Carrie said about Parf, true story, like trying to convince people that wasps eat chicken. That sounds about right.
Yeah, that sounds.
Hi, Carrie.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I always love it too, like when I introduce people to him, and they're like, yeah, okay, whatever, and then they're like, yeah, okay, yeah, you're right. His wife, she was like, said that like she had to Google him to try to figure out which parts of the things he was saying was like true and stuff, and it was like, she had to Google some of the true things because he's like, that can't be right. I mean, that's fine. It's like, no, some of it is. There's a game, Randy, that you can play with people. There's lots of games you can play with people, Randy. You may remember. You can refer to our earlier portion of the conversation when we were talking about secret lovers and pillow talk.
And afternoon delights.
Yes, afternoon delights.
And caning, apparently. I don't know. That's
yeah, canings and switchings and
to each
paddlings,
their own.
Whatever. But again, we're inclusive, Randy. We're about inclusion.
Mm-hmm.
So
cane responsibly, people.
Yeah. Cane. Yeah, that is actually true. That is a
That's
good
your PSA for today.
Yes. Yeah. Be sure it's all fun and games until you forgot to establish a safe word. All right. Oh man.
Oh, should we go over the obscure holidays?
Yeah, I was talking about something and now I can't remember.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's okay. We'll come back to it or we won't.
Yeah, let's see. What
all
was
right.
Thursday the 9th? So that was our word nerd day. Was last Thursday.
Yeah, when we did the shadow talk. I was actually when I was cleaning up, I had our drawings from the previous session where we were talking about. Let me see if I got this right. This was the umbra. This is the penumbra, and then these were
Nope.
Umbra,
yep.
Penumbra,
yep.
Anti-umbra, because it's behind the umbra.
Antumbra. Anti-umbra, Antumbra.
Antumbra.
Yeah.
Yes. And then we also talked about shadows. So, anyways, please continue. I just wanted to hop in
looks
with
like
that.
Friday was Cut Your Energy Costs Day, so I hope you all checked out your insulation and stuff.
Nice.
That's always good.
Yeah. Actually, when
Randy,
when I had moved into my condo 10 years ago, not where, before I moved here, one of the first things that I did was I put all CFLs in. And I noticed, I think, a huge savings.
Oh, really?
Because of that. Yeah. I never had used incandescent bulbs. And I would have liked to have seen what 1 month with them in because it didn't have
LEDs. You'd never used LEDs before?
Well, the LEDs, because that was 11 years ago. So LEDs were still cost prohibitive at that point.
The compact fluorescent.
Yeah, so the CFLs were the compact fluorescents. Then, especially at the time, the pigtail corkscrew style was all the rage. It was the kids. They had them in their lockers
it was the
at
cat's
school.
Pajamas.
It was causing mass hysteria and panic. They thought Satan was involved. It got ugly. But so I had replaced the house. I mean, just put those in all the bulbs that we used everywhere. And my electrical costs were always very affordable. And I know that it had to have at least some small part. And then, the LEDs are even better than those.
Yeah.
So I've been trying to use a lot of LEDs here. And then we've been using like a lot of smart bulbs and stuff, trying hue bulbs and things like that. So
I can't remember the numbers on that. I think... And I was going to say something different. I was going to say less, but now I want to say that I think the CFLs were supposed to be like an 80% improvement over
It seemed to me.
the incandescents.
Here, I'll lie on your behalf.
And then
yeah, again, the things that we say are just
I can't remember
as it appears in our mind, which is fuzzy at best.
Because I was thinking that LEDs
it almost seemed to me like that you were getting like a 10
better.
times improvement from CFL over incandescents, and then like LEDs were a further 10% on top of that, or were 10 times better over that.
The thing I'm thinking about right now is like saying that it was supposed to be 80%. The CFLs were supposed to be 80% better than the incandescents, and then LEDs were supposed to be an additional 20% of that. Like, I don't know. That doesn't sound right.
I saw this really adorable post on the interwebs, Randy, and it was the Credible Hulk.
Oh yeah.
Did you see that?
I saw the that was I like that a lot.
Yeah, it's like when I get angry,
Chris posted that actually.
Yeah, I back it up with facts and science. I thought that was awesome. It's like that's a shirt.
You won't like me when I'm angry, because when I'm angry, I back up my.
Yeah, that's it. You won't like me when I'm angry, because when I'm angry, I
back up my arguments with facts.
Yeah, with facts and yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah, I love that. Randy, I'm just showing off this nice little LED set that you had got me. Speaking about energy, LEDs.
It was part of your Christmas gift bag.
My Christmas
situation.
Gift bag. Yep. And these are going to get a ton of use, especially I had to use these actually, Randy. A version of these. Let me grab.
I thought it added a nice glow to the artistically arranged tissue paper zhuzhing at the top of the bag.
You are an expert level zhuzher, my friend. I don't know if you can get to be certified as zhuzhing. Do they have zhuzhing certifications?
Yeah. I've got mine.
Mm-hmm. Again, I'm
on the board.
Randy, let me see here. Let me.
Not just the president. I'm also a member.
That's right. Thank you for that.
Oh my God, it's a Stargate.
Yeah, it's not a Stargate because that is an IP that I'm not allowed to. No, actually, it's not Stargate. This was Games Workshop, something or another. You will not be surprised, Randy, to know that I purchased this at the half price store.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I was like, yes, please. These things are often cost prohibitive, but I got this and I think I got this even like during their week of savings where it's like it's 20% off one day, 30% off, additional 20, additional 30, additional 40. I think I got it during that cavalcade of savings. Cavalcade, that's another word, Randy, that we don't use as much as we like.
Cavalcade.
Yeah.
That is a good one.
Cavalcade. I always think of cavalcade as cavalcade of stars because I was raised during the 70s. I think that's the only time that I ever heard people use that word.
What? I've never heard it in that context.
Cavalcade of stars. However, so we've got this at the half price, and I was doing some photo stuff, Randy. So what
actually, I just Googled it, and the first thing that came up was Cavalcade of Calamity. I love that.
Wow. Cavalcade of Calamity. Man. If that resulted in chlamydia, man, that would be a lot.
Whimsy.
That would be a mouthful, Randy. An awful mouthful. All right. So, Randy, what I had done was I had taken like a bag. And some of the things.
Carol said your older brother thought Rick had a steel plate in his head thanks to Parf.
That is true. Yeah. Yep, that is actually for realsies. Oh, man. You don't want to do that. What? He might have hurt the plate in his head. What? And then I asked him one time something like, did it go off when he went into the airport? What? The plate in your head.
And 50 reset.
Yeah. Well, it's just off. So
yeah.
I turned the alarm off though. Well, you're still seeing. Let me see here, Randy, if I can. Oh yeah, Randy. You know what time it is. It's that time of the show we call Pillow Talk, where we take the lights down low. But here you can see, if you're looking, how I had used those string lights.
Let's go.
For a little glowy.
Ooh, you need to flush the toilet.
People may hear a dog barking, Randy. And I'm going to save this conversation for our mental health moment of the day. I would like to talk about pets today on mental health moment.
Okay.
So,
you might want to clear up why I said that you need to flush the toilet before you just let the...
Wow, I'm sorry, I didn't. I was
that.
processing 3 things. I missed your joke, and this happens a lot, people. When Randy says funny things and I don't laugh, I'm not trying to be a curmudgeon. I don't have to try. It's just I generally don't. I'm not hearing it because I'm multitasking over here. So what was the?
I said you need to flush the toilet for the sound effect I was referencing for Stargate.
Oh yeah,
they got the swooshing sound for when the Stargate opens, forms.
You know, it's funny. I was sitting there one day waiting on somebody, and I saw one of those porta potties, and it was blue, and it was like TARDIS blue, and so I was like, oh, so it's like, you know, the TARDIS. And it was just like there's, you know, and then it just goes from there, right? You know, yeah. And the thing is, somebody's already done this and made a movie.
Yeah, I gotta applaud you and hate myself for it.
Yeah, yeah. And it was a long time I was waiting on these people, so I had a long time to think about it. Because then I even had a name for it, so it's something in sewage. The IS is sewage.
Oh no.
But it was no. But I mean, we try to keep it, you know, not horrible, but. I can't remember what the
turds and relative dookies.
Well, because it was the Dulix.
All right,
the Dulix.
It was the what?
The Dulix.
The Dulix.
The Dudulix. Instead of Daleks, and then you had.
Oh jeez.
Instead of, because they say exterminate, they didn't say exterminate. They said, I can't remember what it was. But anyways,
and then like one of the. Is there going to be like a Cyberman version of Mr.
Because it was Dr. Pooh. It was Dr. Pooh.
Oh, no.
I forgot that. It was Dr. Pooh. It was the TARDIS. Yeah, it's all scatological references. And again, we you know, I'm in the Michael Myers school of thought. He says that, you know, he'll make a poop joke and then, you know, talk about a word like, you know, what was the term he was talking about? There's a Japanese term in drama about when you have a moment of crisis and self-realization or something like that. He says, I think that both of these things are funny. And I appreciate the wide spectrum of humor. All right. So anyways, wanted to share those lights that we got. I also got some air paints.
Nice.
Yep. And you can take any paint. Randy, you can milk anything with nipples. I don't know if you knew that. You can take anything that is any type of acrylic paint and thin it down to work in your airbrush. At least that's what they tell me on the interwebs. They say you just thin it down to the consistency of about milk. Again, you can milk anything with nipples, so you're in luck.
There's actually a magician. Sorry to interrupt real quick.
No, there's no interrupting.
I can't think of his name right now, but he's a young magician, has his own show, has for a couple years. He's actually done several things about...
Is this Houdini?
No. Several things about milking various animals or milking nuts to get nut milk, like almond milk from milking nuts.
That's... I only wish that I could think of something funny to say almonds in conjunction with these things that you were.
I was trying to clarify which nuts I was speaking of. In case that was not clear. I was referencing for this specific reference. I was talking about almonds.
Are we still on the pillow talk segment?
Apparently. Keeps circling back around it.
You know what I want right now?
Almonds?
I want some milk. Milk that does a body good. Pass it on. Yeah. All right. So You can thin any paint down, but I find it just super helpful to have some ready to go paints. And you can't use the Vallejos in particular; they're thicker than most paints, it seems. So you definitely got to thin those beforehand if you're going to use them. So I'm loving just having some set as I'm using the airbrush more and more. Have a nice, and this is got a lot of metals in it because when I'm airbrushing, I'm doing a lot of large area work. I don't, at least not yet, use it for much fine detail, but it does have some reds and some blues and some blacks, but it's chrome and steel and brass and gold and rust and wood and yeah, good stuff. Couple rusts, couple grinds. Good stuff. So anyways, just wanted to share that. And I was doing some work on painting up some of our Dwarven Forge pieces. I had just some bits and bobs that I had for them, and one of them is this door. I think I'm going to actually do a quick job on this while we're doing some light conversation or heavy conversation work, Randy. And then also, let me take one of these out. They came with a couple of these zombie lizard men. I think these were add-ons. Let me get a little extra
Nice.
light love in here. Well, I'm the worst light job ever. Yeah.
That's cool.
Damn it. I'm having a hard time getting this actually. There you go.
Put your hand behind it. Oh, it's because you're like backlighting it right now.
Yeah.
You need to get the light on the front of it for detail.
Probably it's, yeah, maybe. I was just taking this as an opportunity to remind you guys we are rank amateurs. We're making this all up. But yeah, I'm going to work on some improving the lighting. Maybe if I... But, so you get the idea there.
It's a cool
so I have a couple of those, and I actually would like to paint those up, but I'll keep them handy at some point. We may hop on them in a moment's notice. I think also, Randy, can you look at the intro, the show notes? I know I had some bargain bin finds. I hit the half price store, so I was going to pull out a couple of those items. But please feel free to direct our conversation as however. Oh, you know what? That was part of the problem, Randy. I don't have these. I have so many lights on, I forget which ones I have on and which ones I don't. There we go. That helps me. There. I was like, why do I feel like I'm in such a dark room? Because I was in such a dark room. All right.
There we go.
Rawr. Okay. So I am going to work on pulling out this item.
Oh, did you want to talk about Patreon at all?
Yeah. So, Randy, while we're doing this, we can work on the photo segment sharing. Because if you look in that shared folder, you should have 5 images, and they represent the graphics for each of the tiers. And if you right click on that, you can do like fit to screen, I think, Randy, if you want. And it'll make it larger. So our Patreon page is up. Randy, I was scrambling beforehand to and I will pull some of this stuff out at the same time while we're doing this. Here. So we have our Patreon page up, and I was scrambling beforehand to try to get a link to it. I have one, but it's a little bit convoluted. I have it in the doobly-doo, what we also call the cubelage, Randy. I don't know. Could you do me a kindness and try to pull that up and see if you can actually access the page? I was trying to get to that beforehand.
Sorry, say again. I was trying to.
Yeah, no problem.
Deal with that.
And the description, today's description.
Yeah.
I added a link to our Patreon page. It's a little convoluted because I was having a hard time getting access to it. So it's like, even when you look at the URL, it has like something about Twitter because I was trying to share it through my Twitter function thing. So if you could take a look and see if that link actually works before anybody clicks on it. I was trying to get to that before the show, and that was the last piece that I couldn't get to. But yeah, so we have our Patreon page. Some of you, a lot of you probably, may not be familiar with what Patreon is. And Patreon, I believe, was started by some people that were doing some successful work on YouTube, and were trying to figure out a better way that they and other artists can connect with their fan base and provide a meaningful exchange of service for value, I think. And, you think, Randy, a common term, patron is, like a patron of the arts, right?
Uh-huh.
You're familiar with that term.
Yeah.
So that's, I think, is at the root of it, right? So Patreon is about, people, you think about people who are patron of the arts. And so what it is a means for people who want to support, things like artists such as ourselves. They're able to do so very easily by going to the Patreon page. And what you do is you have tiers set up, and at different contribution levels, you have different reward levels, Randy. So if you pull up those, we can talk about those reward levels actually right now. And I can show off some of the stuff if you're not.
The link does work. You want me to go ahead and paste it in the chat for now?
Okay.
Or did you
Yeah, it's in there, but go ahead, you can, please.
Yeah.
Always ABB. Always be branding, Randy. All right, so we're going to put things off to the side. And while you're working on that, Randy, I'm looking at a couple of these things that we got from the half price. So this, I am blessed to have a really cool half price bookstore. And it's funny, I've been to probably 5 or 6 different half-price bookstores because a lot of times I'll stop on them if I go out of town, Randy. So if I'm in a different state or different city, and since it's a nice chain, and they're all so different, right? The different types of things that you'll find there. But one close to me, they actually have a lot of gaming miniatures. But like find some of them will have better like board games. Some of them have better CDs, or albums or whatever. I don't buy so much the books from them, but there's a lot of stuff there. So this one.
Did you change the camera?
Did I change? I'm on.
Because it was showing Blando, and now it's not showing anything.
Oh. It could be maybe you found the hotkey or something. I don't know. And you know how to refresh it, right? So. Yeah, we're trying to figure this out. Streamlabs. I think Streamlabs, which is what we use as a shell on top of. We use Streamlabs OBS, and it's a shell on top of OBS. And I think it's causing us some functions on a little confusion. Okay, so this has to be. We have to figure out a different way to do this either.
Okay. Oh, you know what? I wonder if it's lost the. Huh. Looks like it lost the directory for some reason.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh. If all I think it takes, Randy, is to hit the minus button, and so it's probably really easy to actually remove.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Man, I'm having a really hard time with my lighting today.
What's the name of the directory? Is it within?
It's just if you go to the desktop. I put it on the desktop to make it easy. So usually on the left-hand side when you're browsing a directory, desktop is one of the shortcuts you can access. Yeah, this is horrible. It's horrible.
Is it just the pics folder then?
What's that?
Or is it within the pics folder? I'm trying to.
Yeah, 1 second. I'll come over.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Within OBS.
I gotta get out all these lights I have convoluted. Let me give somebody else up. I'm looking at. Thanks everybody for tuning in today. We appreciate your time and your attention.
So yeah, within Streamlabs, I have to find
If you hit
where
the
to
plus,
point it.
yeah, add directory, and
yeah.
then desktop, and then it's just shared pics. So once you click on that,
I see. Okay.
And then select folder, and then that should be all you need.
Like for some reason, I saw this and like immediately just ruled that out.
Yeah.
Like I didn't even read that at all.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So if you do that one, it should.
Yep.
Should give us what we're looking for, I think.
Now.
There you go. Yeah.
So there's that.
Yep.
I'm gonna leave it there and see if it changes itself at all because
okay.
I don't think it's going to.
If you do automatic, if you switch it to automatic, it will. Yeah. And I think if you're on manual, I don't think it
definitely will. Okay.
Yeah, because that's the existing slideshows like we have like on the M50 and those other ones. So I knew they do work at least to some limited degree.
And you said the manual hotkey control looks like it hasn't been implemented.
Best I can tell.
In
my cursory examinations.
Yeah.
That's what I was finding. So yeah, so we have our Patreon levels ready. So we have 5 tiers currently, and the first tier is the $1 tier, right? And we named that one. Oh, it switched, Randy. Did you do anything?
Nice. I put it to automatic.
Oh, okay. And so we have the. We have the Blando, we have the Fando, we have the Lando. That's the one that's currently on, Randy. We have the Rando, and we have the Grando. Wait for it, it's coming. The Grando. There it is. Just like it got bigger in your hand. All right. So the Blando, the way that we describe this is, if it was poker, you're basically just lumping in, right? So it's a basic contribution. You just want to just kind of, throw in and support what we're doing, support the awesomeness that we're trying to help facilitate in the world here. And so that's an easy way for, you want to throw in $1 a month. That's the way you can do that. It doesn't come with, any real rewards. That's why it's the Blando. But we still have, we say, even though the reward level is light, our love for the people at that level are still strong, Randy. That's the way we're describing that. So that's the Blando.
Yeah, what in all?
The next one is the Fando, and the Fando level. That's the level where you're a fan and you want people to know it, right? You're part of the Cool Kids Club now, so you want people to know that, and so you'll get access to exclusive posts on Patreon, like videos, and I think we're going to try to do some STL files of some of the custom sculpts that we've done. Parf told us this, but we did establish earlier that Parf lies. So, but he said that he could help us generate some STL files of some of the work that we have, Randy.
Nice.
Doing 3D scans of it. So that's
awesome.
Something that would be accessed at the Fando level. And it's funny when it gets to it, the Fando level. It's got I imagine that these people have this kind of it's a tattoo, right? You got the dragon tattoo, the Q tattoo on there. That's how big of a fan the Fando is, right? So you got the Blando, it's just kind of like a meeple, and then you got the Fando there, and he's showing his support. So I don't know, maybe he's wearing a shirt, maybe he's got a tattoo. We all express our fandom in different ways.
That's when you've arrived, when you go to a convention or something, and somebody asks you to like draw your emblem on their
or they show it to you
or something.
Yeah, like I've seen Kevin Smith
and then they tattoo it.
Kevin Smith's Instagram, like he's showing like all the Jay and Silent Bob tattoos that and it's just like that would be weird, and especially like what happens when you see one that's a horrible one. Hey, I'm sorry you have a horrible tattoo of my face on your whatever body
on
part.
Your ass. That's great. Thanks so much.
Yeah. But anyways, so back to the levels, but you do bring up strong points, Randy, as always. So we come back to the Fando here. And then, so that gives you the exclusive access. And then you get shout outs too. That's why, you want people to know it. So you'll get shout outs in the podcast. You'll get shout outs in the edited videos as well. And next we have the Lando, right? And the Lando is because, you know, you are as smooth as a cape wearing space hustler drinking a Colt 45. That's what that level is. And what that does is gives you access to all the archived. It gives you access to everything of the previous levels, and it also gives you access to the archived vodcast, Randy. So all the ones from 2019 have gone into the vault. So
okay.
if you
Nice.
if people want access to those, that is the level. That's the Lando level, because you are a smooth cape wearing space hustler, right? So those are the three levels. The recommended level, of course, is the Lando level. You get the you may or may not grow a green Van Dyke, Randy. The match. We would take no responsibility if you contribute at that level and you spontaneously start to grow a green Van Dyke. But there's two other tiers, Randy, and these are limited, exclusive tiers.
What about a Van Durkin? Is that a thing?
Ooh, a Van Der, is that like a Merkin that's like a Van Dyke?
Yeah.
Well, is it scary that you said it, or is it scary that I knew it? What you were trying to say there. I'm not sure who I'm more.
I don't think it's a surprise that you knew what I was saying.
No, I'm trying to feel who I'm more ashamed of, you and me, in this moment. Neither. I embrace us. I celebrate our entire catalog, Randy. So back to the exclusive tiers. These are limited, and right now, these may expand, but I need to understand what my own personal capacity is for generating some of these. But you actually get stuff with the Rando and the Grando, and the Rando is limited to five supporters. And that it is a $25 a month. So this is an elite level tier, but every other month you get a hand painted mini from the studio. So,
Nice.
and those would be a small level. So I'll see if I can throw this to the side somewhere. Yeah, here we go. Right. So this would be considered like a small level mini. And I'll actually give somebody an example of something that we've done. It would be something probably comparable to these types of things. Here's these and these. So let me see here, Randy, if we can. I have a lot of lights in, so we'll see.
You want me to go ahead and take that off now?
Yeah, you go ahead and pull it down for go.
Or actually, let me see if I can drag it to a corner.
Oh yeah, you can do whatever you want. You got all kinds of options.
Does that translate in real time?
It should. It is on my. I think it is. Because you don't have to hit save or anything. Sorry.
Oh, that's really cool if that works in real time.
Let me see here. I'm having a really.
Oh, that's awesome!
I think some people just got into some.
I had to wait for the 30-second delay.
Oh,
that's so cool. Okay, excellent.
Oh yeah. Oh, like the moving of everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
That because it seems like an animated thing, and I was doing that actually live in real time. So that's cool. You can do a lot with that potentially.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of flexibility on some of the stuff, and the way that I'm doing it right now isn't the best way. I just knew it was a way that I could do it, and I had about an hour to devote to it last night. So,
potentially we'd have to add several windows for the different. Like I can just copy that basically within sources, and then have different pictures loaded, and then like drag them or increase each individual's one size as we want to talk about it, and leave the miniatures up there on the side or whatever.
Yeah.
Cool.
So. Awesome. So here's some examples of some things I actually, we've painted here. Some zombies, some skeletons, right? This is the type of stuff that we would be looking. And every other month, so the way that the protocol for this, Randy, is you don't get it the first month, you get it the second month, because people will try to cheat the system, right? If you give it the first month, and they'll do one, and then they'll cancel, and then they'll do it again. And
unfortunately, that does occur.
So that's the way that works, but... And so there's this level, I have 5 right now. And then the Grando, Randy, is it's a $50 a month. And that's a super elite level, right? but you get a large miniature, which would be, let me see.
We support oxymorons here at
Yes.
Studio Q.
A bigature, as they said in what a...
That's I don't know if that's whoa nice.
So something more along the line of that would be a big size.
Doesn't say bigature sounds like a bigot. I don't know if you want.
Yeah. So this would be something that would be, you know, that size. That would be the $50 a month.
It's a really big bigot.
It would get you something like that every other month. So, and I only have one of those that's available right now because it would be a lot of work to do this at the level that I want to. So we're trying to figure out what our capacity is. If we have a larger capacity than that. And then also I noticed that they have some merch tiers that are available. We'll look into that more, where like people can get like mugs and t-shirts and posters and stuff like that, Randy.
Sweet.
And it looks like they have a way to where Patreon itself can deliver those things. They can be responsible for that. And
nice.
And you can do it to like where, like if somebody is a loyal for like say 3 months, then it'll send them merch.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's something that they're increasing right now. Patreon's only been around for a few years. I think I've been an active supporter on it for probably 3 years now. And it's neat too. Like if you go on it, it shows you the people who I support, so you can see that people are, and usually that's what you see is people are part of this community. When you kind of get into it, people support each other on it. So, cool. Anyways, I think you have the Rando, you got the Grando. If you want to go ahead and just leave those up, I think that's and you provided a link. And here's the way that I started to think about it, Randy. Black Magic Craft was actually, I think, the reason I signed up for Patreon, because I knew that he was a guy that was doing the stuff that I just really dug what he was bringing to the table, the level of quality that he brought, his sensibilities. And so he originally, him and actually Drunkens and Dragons, Runehammer, kind of was both. I think they started out sort of anti-Patreon, if I recall correctly, but then eventually came around and I think understood the value of it, and that I think everybody, originally your thing is it feels like it's begging, and there's a really great if you could do a search, Randy, for me and post this in the comments. There is a video that's a TED Talk by, let me think of what her name is.
What's it regarding?
I can't remember her. I know it's Neil Gaiman's wife. I can't remember what her name is. She's in the Dresden Dolls. I don't want to look her up by who is Neil Gaiman's wife. I'm trying to prevent doing that. And I've heard Carrie listen to her autobiography. She's probably shouting it at me right now. She could hear it, and it's 30 seconds.
Amanda
delay.
Palmer?
Amanda Palmer, thank you. If you could find her talk about, she does a TED Talk about when she was like a street performer. And she really changed the way that I thought about contributing.
Looks
in this
there's
fashion.
A couple different videos. The Art of Asking.
Yeah,
that's
it.
TED.
Yep, that's it.
Okay.
And if you could actually share that, that's
13.5-minute video.
Yeah, it's worth it. Yep, okay. That sounds about right. I can tell too if I
can do this without.
If you can share it, put it over on the second monitor, I can tell. She talks about being out and giving people flowers, and she talks about the hate that she used to get from people, but she also talks about like how she was a real innovator, and yeah, that's it. I remember she has like a bowling cast on. It looks like, I can't tell whether she's a bowler or she's got a cast or it's just a affectation. But it's really beautiful, and she talks about how she used to do like this thing where she would go on tour and she would just stay with fans, right? She would just couch surf. And it's like a woman who is going to stay with, it's just like, it defies all logic and convention. And she's actually, I think she's one of the top earners on Patreon. Oh, wow. I come to find out, but she does a lot. She did a lot of things where she would put out albums, I think, and people could contribute what they want, those types of things. I might be getting some of the details wrong, but you get the idea. But anyways, so it's important for us to give to artists, and we're oddly raised in a culture that that puts a lot of value on art, and yet at the same time makes it so that it seems odd to give money to art, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're raised with radios, right? And so we all love music, and music is one of the closest things that we actually have to magic. And we're used to being able to have it for free, right? With TV, all the stuff we get on TV, it's for free because of commercials, right? And because of that, it's like we kind of are ingrained with this idea that we have a right to free art. And but anyways, it's important to support those artists. We started talking about Amanda Palmer. I got sidetracked on that. With Black Magic Craft, and because so that was it got me actually her thing. And then here's this guy that's doing something I was really respecting, and so I was like, I want to start contributing, and so I supported him, and I supported then at the same time DM Scotty, the godfather of D&D crafting, and then I started to contribute to some other people from there, and with it again, there are reward levels for your level of patronage, so it's not just that you're just donating. You get something. I think in the comments I used a quote from MF Doom, who's one of my favorite rappers, Randy, and he has a line and it says "Damn, act like you know me, even with the mask on, show me what you owe me." And so that's what the line is show me what you owe me. And you get something is the point that I'm tripping over here, Randy. Mm-hmm. So and this is the point that all of that was for. All that fumbling was to kind of get to this. This is what I thought about. And specifically, I'm just giving you the very real example of me when I was thinking about this, say 3 years ago, I think was when I started contributing. And it was like, if I knew this, if I was hanging out with this guy at the bar, would I buy him a shot once a month? I was like, hell yeah, I would, and so that's kind of the way that I think about it. So if you're a listener and we were hanging out and you saw me at the bar and you'd buy me a drink, you would think you would do that on a once a month basis, then think about pitching in through the Patreon. It's a super important way for young artists such as ourselves to be able to exist. So this has been a big thing that we've been working on. So I don't want to belabor it any more than I already have, Randy, but I did want to make sure that we gave it its due. Do you feel that we have accomplished those things?
Yep.
Okay.
We're good.
Awesome. So let me move.
You also have asked me if I added it to the Cublage.
Okay.
Regarding the Patreon, it looks like. I was going down the notes and saw that.
Okay. And yeah, I just need to, I wanted just to verify that the link worked. And you could do that.
Yep, looks like it does.
And if it didn't, then I wanted to make sure we updated it. And then I'll look for a cleaner link. I just wasn't able to. I think I needed to come down, and I was trying to do it through my phone, right? Yeah, okay. I think that was causing a spot of bother, as they say.
Spot of bother?
As the kids say. Because we are down with the zeitgeist. We established this previously, Randy, that the kids, they love that German slang, right? Zeitgeist. That's something I hear them saying all the time on the street as they're hustling me. Yeah, do you get a lot of that? They're doing their 3-card Monty and
all the time.
And they're you hear them, they're speaking their Achtung, right? Halten der Mund. That's one of my favorite German expressions, Randy, because it means shut up, but not just because it means shut up. I mean, right? But like when you think about it, it means literally stop your mouth.
The French is fermez la bouche. It's like, shut your mouth. Like,
Shut it.
shut your mouth.
Shut your mouth. I guess that when you think about it, right? When you say shut your mouth, right? I mean, that is a really strong thing. I don't think about it, because it's just so commonly bandied about. But really, like, it's that, the thing where it's like, you're giving me a lot of this, and what I need is this, And there's just something about that. It's just like, so like, ooh, wow. All right, Randy. So
here's a simpler way to say it, or a nicer way to say it is stop talking. But there's so much tonal. How it comes across is so heavily determined by the tone with which you use the phrase.
How about one of my favorite ones is, why are there still words coming out of your mouth hole? That one, I like that one a lot.
That seems like one that would be on a t-shirt.
Ouch. You are making me regret every life decision I've made that led me to this moment, to having this conversation with you. I mean, you probably never experienced moments like that because you're a better human than me in general, Randy. But I will be honest, I do feel that way more often than I care to admit. So these other pieces here, Randy. So the first one that we got here, as we're looking at our bargain bin finds, this is from War Machine line. It's Vladimir, the Dark Prince, and he's heavily armored vampire guy with sword and a dagger, and he was a pretty cool sculpt. And this is actually metal. You can see he's pre-based, right? Mm-hmm. He's on cork. So for $550, this is a pretty good.
Was this, one that somebody had begun to do?
Yeah, and that's the thing, is this place that I go to, like, there's sometimes like I'll find like painted minis. Mm-hmm. I really am unhappy with our lighting scenarios here.
That's a bold base choice. That's big and bulky.
Well, these are used for like war games, not so much D&D stuff primarily.
Yeah.
And I am going to figure this out.
Is it just a chunk? I can't really see the details on it. It just looks like a big black blob
that
right now.
I'm going to see if I bring this light over.
Is it just a chunk?
Because this is what I ought have done earlier. Sorry. No, not sorry. All right.
So is it just a chunk of cork?
Yeah, it's just a couple layers of cork, it looks like.
Okay.
And he will do this a lot. Let's see. Let me switch to a different camera while nothing but top quality. Let's see here. I want to move this arm all.
And normally you don't see that bulky of a base with D&D characters.
Yeah.
But as like a display piece, the base is awesome.
Oh yeah, and these like we've done this with
to give it additional.
Yeah, we use cork. I think I have some
drama
probably here somewhere handy where we use that.
And that was one of my things with I had Andy augment my figure when I first got my first figure. I had him change it quite a bit because I couldn't find one that I was really happy with.
Amazing job on that.
Yeah, he did really good. Did really well. Good job. But like I had him like make. I guess it kind of ended up being sort of a Captain Morgan sort of thing, but not really. Just to add some motion into because it seems so static. Like all of them just seem so like they're just standing there. They weren't doing anything. So it kind of put a lot more sense of movement and life into the fig.
Yeah.
With the changes I had him.
Yeah, because you had him. I mean, I think he put a completely different arm on it, right? I don't think I have that one handy.
I can't remember if it had like a scroll, and I think, and I didn't like the way that it looked, so I had him change that. Instead of like holding the arm down with the scroll lolling out of it, he made the arm up with a fireball in it in the hand. And it was
Did you mention the removable crystal?
Yeah, I had. Because at some point I wanted to add a real crystal point, hopefully with an LED feature to it. But so we made the crystal removable. and the staff. What else was?
There we go.
He made a couple other changes. Oh, it
yes.
was like a really old. It looked like a really old wizard. His face was kind of wrinkly and had an evil expression, kind of. So he actually changed that and made it look younger and
He did some
less sinister.
some Botox.
Yeah, did some crafting Botox on it. Turned out really well.
Yeah, he's really good. He was he helped me tremendously when I first started painting, giving me a ton of great advice. And what I respect about Andy too is that he got his learning pre-internet, right? So like it was, I was able to watch hundreds of hours of people wipe this lens down so we can get this in focus. You know, hundreds of hours of people painting and tips and all
Yeah,
this stuff.
he was old school,
Yeah. I think I have-
driving to or having his mom or whoever drive him to the nerd shop, the local nerd shop, to be able to get stuff.
Yeah, I mean, he's got this. He's learned this from other people and
As a
things
kid.
and experimentation, and so yeah, he put me on the right path right from the get go. This was a figure that he had done for me. Let me I'll switch it to ceiling.
Yes, kids, for those listening, kids, I use the term loosely. For those of you that don't know, the internet didn't always exist, and it wasn't that long ago that we didn't have anything like that.
This is nuts. It's like even eyes. It's like, oh no, that's always been there, right?
It's crazy. It's hard to imagine your life without it now.
Okay, let me see here. Did that help? And then maybe if I even able to.
Remember when the first like portable phones came out?
Yeah, and
Modular
they look
phones,
like
cellular phones.
it looked like you were calling in airstrikes,
It looked like a big old brick.
right? It looked like you were getting ready. You're in the foxhole and you were calling in the airstrike for support, you know, and you're like with the hand crank on the side. Yeah, those things were awesome. So yeah, you can see here, Randy. This is one that Andy had done. This was my character. It was a dark elf cleric, Naysay ne'er-do-well.
Nice.
And he had custom this because
Flames on the sword
when he
is
pulled
open.
out his sword, it burst into flame due to his alliance with his god, and he added
I thought
the
you just
flame.
needed an ointment.
Yeah, well, yeah, it burns every time I pull out my sword. It burns. I get a burning sensation. And so he added that flame. So the sword didn't have the flame. He added that.
awesome.
So it was pretty righteous. And he did this. Oh man, this is, I want to say almost 10 years ago. So he was doing this old school. And then yeah, so then if we look at the cork, Randy, this is one of my favorite figures that I actually painted. I painted this for my buddy Mike, who was playing a session with us. See if I can get this light in here. It's really funny with how it's handling light. But you can see, maybe. That's not really in focus, is it, Randy?
Not particularly.
It was.
Better well, it was for a second, but it's really far away
Let me put it up on a.
for if you're looking for details.
Yeah. Let me see if I can-
I still think you should determine a set area for the optimum distance for close-up detail shots.
I would do that when I worked on that towards the M50, or have that camera. So that's like the close-up camera. Working towards that, if it would cooperate with me a little bit better, then I might actually have more success. Nothing but.
What else we got here?
Trying, Randy, to.
Okay, so Randy here.
Did you had some more photos you wanted me to share other than the?
Actually, what I want you to do is take a look here at this.
Yeah.
Base. So this is cork.
This is basically just the same exact thing as this.
Nope. Except was it metal balls?
No, it was not.
But anyways, I mean, these make amazing rock. And this is just, you know, cork board. You just break it up and these make amazing bases. And so these will paint up fabulous. So yeah, there's a ton of stuff that, and it seemed that when I talked to the half price guys, the person that was there, they kind of had a ongoing conversation with left. So, but he seemed to me that he had primarily like one or two people that sold him the majority of his stuff. So you'll find some of it's stuff like this that is based and primed. So this would all been work that, you know, he's done out of the box. So not only are you getting it for a discount, but you're getting it pre some of the lane work done. And this one,
What's on the back of that one?
What's that?
The one on the right? Well, on my screen it looks like the one on the right.
Okay. So
What's on the back of it? Not that one.
Okay, this one?
Yeah.
So
oh, is it the arms missing?
Yeah.
Something?
So right here is the arm.
And it's a metal.
Yeah. And these are all metals. Yeah, these are metal things. So they've got good detail on them. It's kind of hard to tell with the with the black.
That's crazy. Try put your hand directly behind it.
I got so many things here. It's kind of hard for me to...
It needs something to focus on that's close to the figure. If it's having trouble focusing on the figure. Well, potentially, I suppose it could be that the camera can't focus that closely.
And I don't think that's it. I'm just having problems getting... I think it has to do with the lighting, too. I changed some of the lighting in here. Now it's all funky. Let me see here.
We need to experiment and dial that in.
Yeah. Sorry, people. I've changed some of the things around here.
It's a learning process.
Yeah, I'm learning how to do
Did you want me to show some of the pictures of the of your D&D session?
Yeah.
Okay, let me.
Yeah, we can work on that intermittently here with this, Randy. Yeah. So I got that vampire guy. I got these two, like lady assassins or something. They're also on those cork bases. Let me put these back, especially since this has a arm that is missing, or not missing, but needs to be glued back in here. All right, so we got that. We got that. And we also found this. And those chicks were $7, so $3.50 a piece for our lady assassins there. War Machine. And then these were metal as well. I thought it was really...
Is a lady assassin a lassassin?
A lassassin.
Or if an assassin has a really good bum, do you call him... you put the ass back in assassin.
I'll put that ass back in assassin. You know, the aforementioned MF Doom, Randy, he has a line that says... better make a fast break because that'll be the last mistake that ass will make. That's what you get from messing with Master Shake. And it's like that's a pretty nice turn of phrase, my good man. I applaud you. My good sir. He that album in particular, there was a cartoon on Adult Swim. You know what Adult Swim is?
Yeah.
Like Nickelodeon. And this is from back in the day, so this probably was like, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago. But there was one called Aqua Teen Hunger Force. Aqua Teen Hunger Force, yeah. And it was like a... you know how sometimes, Randy, you live next to a like a meat wad and a fry and a shake,
As one does.
you know. And so, anyways, on this album, he raps with a bunch of people from Adult Swim. Like my other favorite one is, I think it's called Space Hose, and it's he raps with Space Ghost. I know that's one of my favorites.
Hey, here you go, Randy. This one's a little easier to see some of the stuff on it. It's still not great.
I apologize for that. We will improve this. But this thing's like a skeleton. He's got these like reliquaries.
Can you see any of this, Randy?
I can't really see what it is. I can tell it looks cool, but
Yeah.
there's a lot going on there, it looks like.
Yeah.
So I got that, and this was, like $5. It's for a metal fig with a lot of detail. These are things that we're looking to be able to paint up and put on the Quasi shop, Randy. That's our web store. Should have links to that in the Cubelage, to the Quasi shop store, and also on there, since it's our store, we have links to the recommended gear. We are an Amazon affiliate, and so we have links to Amazon for some of our recommended gear, for which we can earn a commission on.
Sweet.
So please check that out. All right, let me. Oh, and then Randy, the Kubla Gras, as they say. That's what they say, right? The Kubla Gras.
Coup de grace?
The call McGraw.
Coup de grace?
What is it?
Or did you purposely say the Kubla Gras?
It's the Q. What would be the Queen's English way to say it?
Well, it's
The coup de grace.
French.
Well, what did they? Hold on. Yes.
I mean, I
no,
think
no,
it would be
let that one breathe. Let that one get its due. Garçon means boy.
It does.
Okay.
It also, which is
Hold
odd
on.
that you
I just want to savor my comeuppance there, Randy.
the word for waiter, you call it waiter garçon. So like you're
That's
saying,
actually
boy.
That's
boy.
Yeah, that's in the movie. It's in Reservoir Dogs.
Really?
Pulp Fiction. Yeah, it's in Pulp Fiction. And at the beginning, they're talking, and Tim Roth is like, "Garçon," and she comes over, she fills up his coffee, and she says, "Garçon means boy," and walks away. And it's just such a lovely little throwaway line in a movie. Anyways, so the coup de grace, because I was going to say, well, the French can still have queens, but they wouldn't be really speaking English, though, would they? So, well, they do. They just go.
Oh,
So
they say zutele and oh mon dieu after everything.
je te le commente cette affaire. Yeah, j'étais le photon.
Disclaimer: if you are
c'était
French, Studio Johnny Q realizes that this is a stereotype, and we're just kidding.
Oh. Well, yeah, I suppose it is. En français.
So, so like in some places it's bad luck to say good luck. For instance.
And is that why break a leg kind of?
Yes. So when you're doing a performance in the theater, it's supposed to be bad luck to say good luck to somebody. So that's where break a leg comes from, which is intended to be like break a leg as in
don't break a leg.
You're going to bow. You're going to give the, get the standing ovation. You're going to have a good show and be able to have a good bow afterward. So I've heard. So
these even come with tacky crappy.
The French version of that is something along the lines of what they say instead of break a leg. Instead of good luck or instead of break a leg, they say something along the lines of merde la croissance de troisième. which
You
is
are making some shit up right now.
merde à la puissance de
You
troisième.
frog-sounding Mockerbocker.
Is like shit on the power of 13.
So, oh, wow. So how do we shit to the power of 13? How do we say this again?
Merde à la puissance de troisième.
Well, okay, Randy. I'm not so good with my Frenchings. You're going to have to help me on this one a little
Here,
bit.
well, okay,
So
if I
we'll
want to...
break this into 2 halves at least.
Merde, which is shit.
Merde.
Merde.
Merde. Is it with an M?
Yep, merde.
Merde. All right.
À la puissance de
On a
troisième.
croissant.
So hold on a second. Let me.
Shit on a
if I'm
croissant.
trying to break it down, let me make sure that I'm
This is actually the origin of shit on a shingle, Randy.
on shit on a shingle.
Uh-huh. Merde des croissants.
That's right to spell it actually. Croissants.
French toast. Yeah, toast. The genius of Haywood Banks. All right. So, Randy's.
We can just shorten it to say merde, apparently.
Merit.
Yeah, here you go. Okay, so the full thing is merde, à la
La
poissons.
croissants.
I don't know how to say that and have it be right without
Don't worry.
being difficult.
I'm gonna slaughter it no matter what.
Poissons.
Croissants? What's after croissants?
Not croissant.
Croissants?
Croissant. Merde à la croissant. No.
I will murder a croissant. Okay, so we're murdering the croissant. What's the second?
No. Merde à la poissons.
So we're murdering the
Poissons.
the present.
Troisième.
What's the last half of this?
Troisième. Like on des trois. Troisième is 13. So trois is 3. Troisième is 13.
So we're murdering croissants.
Trezium? If you want to, that's a little
okay.
accent down.
Trezium.
Down.
I'm playing. It is my intent to murder a croissant at the Presidio. All right, I think we've done that. We're done.
Not croissant.
Nope. I nailed it. Nailed it.
Yeah.
That was perfect.
Merde
I can't believe it.
croissants
One take. I am like Jay-Z.
I think it should be
I
croissants
spoil
de
you guys
troisième
with
is how
this
I learned
one
it.
take stuff.
Merde à la croissance de troisième.
So Randy, these
Anyway.
are the next set of. Look at this. Murdering croissants. Trestadicophobia style.
What's all this? What's happening here?
You see these guys? Check them out. Isn't that some,
Oh,
some coolness?
got a mob.
Yeah.
Gang.
So these are also War Machine. 12 of these guys. So that comes down to less than $3 a fig. These guys are armored. Now these aren't. These are like resin, I think, because they're substantial. They got real great detail, heavy duty armored. You got a bunch of different poses. A lot of times, Randy, I think that what these do, they come on like sprues and they have, sets, and then you can mold them in different fashions, right? But you can kind of decide, oh yeah, I'm gonna put this arm with this shield, or type of this pose with. Like this guy in particular, and this guy in particular. This guy's got an overhand, whereas these are all kind of similar. This guy's got a shield that he throws up in front, right? So you actually got a lot of variety amongst these gentlemen. You got a banner guy here, but yeah, these are.
Can you angle the camera down more?
Yeah, let me.
It looks like it's focusing on the paints instead of the figures. Sorry if anybody gets motion sickness easily. Oh yeah, lighting is going to be part of the problem because it like changed the focus when you created a shadow.
Yeah.
Where's the?
What I want to do is
What camera is that?
That's the corner camera here.
So like a webcam or
Hey, you can sit down. I'll let you.
I'm sorry. I'm just curious.
No, you can sit down and play with it. I would love something that would help me to be able to do this a little bit better.
Oh.
You can get pretty close to it, right? And it's just.
There's lighting.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know how to throw any more light on this.
It's turn off the backlight.
I turned that off.
Turn this light on. It's better.
Yeah, and then I'll find a place where it's kind of good, and then you try to.
Yes, I need to trim my thumbnail. Thank you. It's my Coke nail. Don't do Coke. I'm just kidding.
Do Coke, kids. Do it all you want.
Okay, see.
We're doing that like break a leg.
There we go.
Yeah, there you go.
So it's up. Like you got to get it right in the center or up higher so you're not.
Okay.
Because it wants to focus on the background at first. On the paint in the background at the top.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, he's really covering up with that shield. He's got some good defensive position there.
Yeah, and then you take a look at one of these guys here. Once you work your magic, work them spirit fingers.
Yeah. Oh, I can't do it. No, I was gonna drop it. Spirit fingers.
One of the kids at Christmas got these light up gloves, Randy, and they like.
I had those.
Yeah, but they didn't have just the tips. Like they almost look like your bones.
Oh, that's cool.
All the way through.
This one doesn't want to work. It's focusing on my hand.
Yeah, see, anytime I got something to work, I had a hard time replicating.
Oh. There. Oh, right there. Oh. Why is it so touchy?
Well, the thing is, this is bouncing.
Oh,
and this is bouncing.
That's part of the problem.
So, yeah, I'm going to try to work on some better solutions.
It may just be that it doesn't like it this close to.
But it can do it. It's really close.
Yeah, it's. I mean, that's a lot of.
Anyways.
Hey, don't be stealing my fingerprints, people. Some of those were in pretty good detail. Oh, there we go. So what is that? Yeah, there's probably an operable distance of like several inches away. So that's really crisp right there as far as I can tell.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, it's amazing the difference when you can actually see the details on it.
Yeah. So these, they have a high level of detail on them, and all of those that I showed you. Let me see if maybe I can show you. Now that I've seen Randy, he's inspired me.
You're gonna do the. Okay.
Yeah. See, but I put him up in here.
Yeah,
he's just all dark.
You're not doing it the same way I was doing it. You're way far away and you're not blocking it like I was. There you go. I mean, he is dark. You're not going to get around that unless... Hold on. Do you have a little flashlight? I
do. I think if you look on that cart that's over by you, there should be a dangly flashlight to the left-hand side, I think I noticed.
A what now? A what kind of flashlight?
It's on a dangle.
Ooh, I'm not sure. Here, you know what?
There's two carts over there. The cart's on the right-hand side.
Here. Jingle, jingle, jangle. Bink. Is that gonna do anything?
It doesn't seem to be.
It's too much or not enough. It's a cool effect. Ooh, it's a spotlight. Alright, yeah, you need to keep your hand on it though. We'll figure it out.
Yeah. So here you can see.
Let me see.
I had
almost.
Again,
it's focusing on your put
well,
your hand
and-
up against it because it was focusing in on your hand instead of.
I think maybe just with the black, the detail in particular, it's probably having a really hard time, I think, capturing the detail because it's. But, anyways, and then I'll see
there.
here.
Progress.
Yeah, we'll figure this out.
Wonder.
Well, that's enough of that. We'll work on upping our game before we try to continue along this line. I'm going to do a little cleanup here, Randy. Computer, what time is it?
Oh wow.
Computer, what time is it?
It's 1:27 p.m.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow. Is that why you were saying wow?
Yeah.
So, Randy, I'm going to switch over and talk about to our mental health minute. So today's mental health minute will probably take us to the end of the show, actually. I wanted to talk about pets and how pets relate to mental health. Simply because we have a new member that we added to our family here at the studio. We have a wonderful 4-year-old German Shepherd rescue who is a beast, and you can attest. You met him for the first time.
Huge.
He is
I thought he was gonna be like at most the same size as Cooper.
right.
I thought Cooper was big.
And Cooper's is like basically like a black lab sort of size dog, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and medium to large is kind of like what I would almost consider him. I mean, he's probably a medium-sized dog, but and I'm around a lot of people who have like Chihuahuas, and Shay brought over her puppy. He's just, he could fit in your hand. And this guy, he weighs over 100 pounds. He's
He's a big boy.
When I felt him pull on the leash, it's like if he wants to do something that I don't want him to do, if he really wants to do it, he chooses that he does not wish to regard my opinions in the matter, I will have a very hard time. But he is very trainable. So
Yeah, he's good. He immediately right away when I went to touch his head to pet his head, he was leery of that and jumped back a little bit.
Yeah, he doesn't like it if you go in face or hand first right on his face, but if you like kind of come from the side.
Once he got accustomed, and it was a lot better.
Yeah.
But he immediately, like, I gave him a treat, and he immediately did sit and shake.
Yeah.
And waited. So he was really good.
Yeah. Yep. He's he's come along. So we picked him up on Friday. There's this awesome horse farm that kind of does, I think, some of the same thing with some
I think
other
he's part
animals.
horse. He's part horse.
Yeah, he could be.
He's a big boy.
He is large and in charge. Excuse me. So yeah, we added him, and I had a German Shepherd before as a kid, but it was a female, and it wasn't wasn't half horse.
Yeah.
And
We had a German Shepherd
wolf.
too.
She calls him house wolf.
We had a German Shepherd growing up too, and like we used to ride him as a horse, but I don't remember him
But you were a
actually being
kid.
the size of a horse.
Right, yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. It's like, I don't just... So I was a little bit taken aback, and I don't know that he'll be able to come down to the studio, because just for him to turn around, he's going to be knocking stuff over. And he is not graceful whatsoever. That is not a skill set that he has, is grace. So he reminds me of one of our favorite hockey players. So we keep referring to him as such. But all right.
So let me, Randy.
Real quick, I did.
Some things.
I started to talk about the holidays on.
No, but I wanted to talk about
Yeah.
pets with regards to.
Yep.
But if you wanted to.
Let me just knock that out real quick because
Yeah,
it's and then we can come back to that.
Yeah.
Let's see, where did we get to? Thursday. Okay. So yeah, Saturday was Learn Your Name in Morse Code Day.
Yeah, we had kind of a prelim talk about that.
Which was like, yeah, if you're going to learn Morse code, you're going to learn your name. Like, I guess that's good, but I think it's probably more important to learn how to say help, like SOS is probably the thing you should concentrate on learning. And I guess then you can let them know what your name is, but I'm not sure it's technically needed. But,
I would just,
whatever.
If you were going to go help, I would go like, I would probably say like, help me. I wouldn't worry about, help me, Studio Johnny Q at,
It's yeah.
Yeah.
And then Sunday was Marzipan Day. So if you don't know what marzipan is, it is like a confection made of powdered sugar and almonds, pretty much. And it's delicious. Some
And that's
people might
what
not
they
like
use
it, but
in.
I find it delightful. Good marzipan.
That's like what Cake Boss would use, right?
Yeah, you can use it for making little like
Sculpting.
Yeah, little shapes or decorations that you would add to a cake or something like that. I guess it's common to find it little fruits. Marzipan that's shaped like little fruits. I find it delightful. And then Monday was Clean Off Your Desk Day. So.
Oh, well,
yeah.
I disregarded that.
I missed that one.
That did not happen.
Apparently Monday was also Make Your Dreams Come True Day, so sorry if you missed it, people.
Well, my dream was to clean my desk. So that was a double fail. That was a natty one I rolled on that one.
And then today is Tuesday, Organize Your Home Day. I need to do that, but I don't think it's going to happen today.
I had, when I was in the 3rd grade, you had those school desks back in the day, right?
Yep.
And that you actually had like a drawer in them, which is frightening. Why would you ever let kids have drawers that they could put things in? And I remember at the end of the year, like I had a sandwich in there. I pulled out a sandwich and it was like, what is that?
It's your science experiment.
Yeah, I learned something. I probably learned more from that than I did the rest of the year, to be honest. That is probably not an untruth. That's probably not a falsehood. A parfhood. There's something there.
Parfism?
Yeah, but it's like a falsehood, but a parfhood. But I'm workshopping it, Randy. It's a working title.
Parfhood.
A parfhood. I like that our friend John calls them Parliament Funkadelic. All right. So I think I'm going to put... so while we're continuing to talk about this, was there any of the other holidays, Randy, that...
that's good for now.
You wanted to call out?
Looks like a couple of the upcoming ones are kind of meh.
So I did want to, as we went through this whole thing, and we had a fun time with him, kind of day one, but he has been really good, and especially the other dog is Cooper. He's acclimating well and excited to have a brother, so that's fun, and it's fun to see a 100-pound dog pout, and that his preferred way of pouting is to shred a tissue. It's like the daintiest way that a beast of his caliber could. I'm going to show you that I'm mad at you by shredding a tissue. It's like, all right, how about it, tiger? So
that's what you get.
But what I wanted to mention,
Burn.
Yeah, exactly. And he was like, if you tell him no, then he'll go get a squeak toy and he'll squeak it. I'll do what I want. I'll come in here and squeak my toy. It's like, you're just such a funny creature. But anyways, I wanted to talk about the simple joy, and I think the value for people who suffer from various mental afflictions. We're talking about the lower grade mental afflictions, right? We're talking about anxiety and depression and things like that. There's all kinds of varying levels of severity, but for things like anxiety and depression, how valuable pets are, right? And the value of a pet. It's like, not only does it, just give you comfort, and smiles, and there's something about, petting animals that is immensely rewarding.
Yeah,
and mentally healthy.
I mean, a lot of hospitals use them like therapy animals and stuff.
Carrie always said that she thought Cooper would be good for that, and I agree.
I think he would be.
Yeah, I think he would be. And also the thing that is awesome, I mean, yeah, and you're seeing it now, like, with support animals all over, right? People use support animals. But just, I think that there is something about the responsibility of the pet, right? It takes you out of you, and it stops you from being able to focus on whatever it is that you're kind of ailing over, and gets you out of your head. And I'm sure that you probably find this, like, there's moments where you didn't necessarily feel like you had the strength to stick up for yourself, where you would have the strength to stick up for somebody else. Like,
yeah, I've always found it easier to do something for somebody else. Like, I might be scared to death to talk to somebody, but if somebody else needed to talk to somebody and couldn't, then I would find it a hell of a lot easier to talk to that person on their behalf.
Yep. And so I think that pets just instantly, they give you that, right? They give you that there's somebody that needs you, and that sense of duty, and they're really, it's good. We talked about structure and routine, right? And the values that those things can provide, and they can help you do that. Like, my dog Cooper, he knows the time, right? He knows what time dinner time is. and so it helps. His structure helps me to have structure. And yeah, just man, they're just, I love animals.
I saw this interesting thing on, first of all, it's been said that also that having an animal can help you live longer. Having a pet can help you live longer. And that the ones in the hospital and stuff, they use those a lot of times. It can help people be calm. It can help them, elevate their mood if they're feeling down. It can even help with, I think, blood pressure, heart rate, stuff like that. Like calming people.
Yeah. I think that's the thing. It's like, instantly you can see that blood pressure and heart rates instantly start to decrease when people are just, like, petting animals.
Yeah.
I'm particularly fond of a cat's purr in particular. It's like, man, my cat had a cat of 18 years who passed a couple years ago, and she would sit on my chest, man. If she got on my chest and would start to fall asleep, man, I love to take a nap with a purring cat on your chest. It's
that's awesome. When I was a kid, I had the best cat ever. Her name was Cleopatra, and Cleo for short, and she was an orange tiger, long hair.
Okay.
Not too long hair, but kind of mid-range hair. But she was the best mama cat ever. She really took care of her kittens well and stuff. And
I take care of my kittens.
And then she, at some point, I think, kind of adopted me as one of her kittens or something, because we used to have a hideaway bed in the living room. And it was kind of a treat to, like, on Fridays, sometimes we'd be allowed to sleep out there and watch TV and stay up late and stuff. And I would often lose my pillow from out, like I'd throw my pillow off the side of the bed or something. So
I was like, is that a euphemism?
No.
I lose the stuffing from a pillow?
She would crawl underneath of my head and let me use her as a pillow and purr me back to sleep. I was like, what? And she knew her name, and like she'd come when you called her and everything. She was best
I think
cat.
This is a false memory.
No, that
It's
actually
nice.
happened.
I like it.
I don't care if it is. I'm sticking with it.
Yeah, that's right. I hear you on that.
Regardless, he was the best cat ever. I can't remember what else I was going to say about pets and things. Oh well, there's lots to say.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, we don't have to, I guess, belabor it, but I did want to figure it was a good opportunity with the acquiring of Action Jackson to mention what a simple. I mean, it's good for everyone, especially like if you get rescues, you can feel good that you helped do something really nice for that animal,
Mm-hmm.
and that helps generate goodness within you and positivity, and and then just if you go out and take him for walks, that's good. Cooper was really helpful. There was a time when I was going through some particularly hard stuff, and we would walk daily, and we used to affectionately refer to it. He would do hobo pooping. We'd go by the railroad tracks. There was a railroad by my house. We'd walk by it, and whenever he would poop by the railroad, I call it hobo pooping. No disrespect to any hobos that are listening.
Gotta go where you gotta go.
Yeah, I mean, most people will not know the simple freedom that is hobo pooping. You just drop trowel and you get your 80s cell phone. You call them an airstrike. I would like to apologize for that, but not gonna.
Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah. But anyways, so yeah, pets, man, they're good. And I tell you, I just don't get it, Randy. I try to fathom where people come from, right? And I do not understand people who are cruel to animals.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't get, and especially pets, dogs and cats. Cats in particular get a. And I get it. And well, no, I don't. I mean, I get the fact that cats are aloof. But why is there a saying there's 100 ways to skin a cat? Why do we know one? Why is there one way to skin a cat? I don't need to know. I don't need to know any of those ways.
Well, I don't know. Violin strings used to be made of cat gut. I don't know if that has anything to do with it or.
Well, I mean, some cultures, really hate cats, and they're really despise. I mean, black cats are the devil.
Yeah.
And I think it's because they can be so aloof, especially to strangers, right? It's been my experience that some cats, they're like, my cat Moxie. She didn't like most people, but she liked me. And
Yeah.
you'll get that, where they'll bond with one person.
Mm-hmm.
And
She was bipolar though.
oh yeah, well, she's a cat.
Yeah.
All cats are bipolar.
She was especially bipolar. She was like, "Oh yeah, it feels so good. Thanks for the pets. Let's love it. Don't touch me. Oh no, why'd you stop?"
Yeah. Yep. That is all accurate. Yeah.
Oh man, I wish I could remember what I was going to say, but oh well. Something about pets.
It was funny too. I was talking to Carrie, like, when we were going our way, we had to drive about an hour and a half to get Jack's, actually.
Oh well.
And
was it a good drive?
yeah,
That's cool.
yeah,
Down to like Athens area or something.
yeah. Mm-hmm. And so, I was reflecting on like some former pets and stuff, and it was just like I split, I kind of had like split custody, so I lived out of two homes growing up, and I always seemed like one of the homes we always had a dog, but we always had different dogs, and it was like I only remember one dog dying, and they all. I mean, I don't think they all went to the imaginary dog farm. When dogs pass away and you lie and people tell you that they're living out in the country now with a bunch of other dogs. I'm not telling you something that you didn't realize, right, Randy? You're not actually thinking that you had a dog that actually went to that place, did you?
Wait, what?
Nothing. All dogs go to heaven.
Yeah, I did. I was a recipient of a oh yeah, your puppy went to a nice farm.
Yeah, there's lots of other dogs he has to play with.
I brought that up recently actually, and she said that no, I'm pretty sure it was an actual farm.
Yeah. She's believing the lies as well. Nope, it really was. Nope.
She's got the false memory going over here.
Definitely.
No, it's definitely a farm. Definitely.
Definitely a roll farm. Definitely a roll farm. Wapner sucks. All right. So Randy, what I was doing here is just using I really like this Vallejo smoke, and there's another one over here too that I think I like. Wood grain. These are really liquidy, and when I was painting up, doing dry brushing, like you can see here, all these pieces, they all just start off looking like that. So I did some dry brushing on this. I went ahead and did the base on these doors, but I also went ahead and did the dry brushing on the wooden door piece, and then just coated it with some of this, so it'll get some texture right off the bat and look pretty decent. So just wanted to do that, and then I'll do the same thing here on this. They have these actually slide in on some pieces, like where they would like slide in and you can remove them. So the little wood planks. So I'm going to be finishing up the back side of that. Computer, what time is it?
The time is 1:47 p.m.
After I finish this, I will show you, Randy, what we'll be probably looking to work on next time. There was another gift that I got, and I want to show it to you beforehand. So don't leave just yet if you're still watching, peoples. I know you get antsies in your pantsies and you need the dancies, but
We got 10 or 15 minutes.
But yeah. Well, they say, Randy, that when you start to give certain phraseologies, that people will instantly start to tune out.
Oh yeah, if you start your wrap up, you start a
So
set
that's what
wrap up.
That's what didn't want people to think that I was doing the wrap up. I was trying to hook them into the end, Randy. And also it helps when I do things on camera.
I would say Red Cross blood drives right now going on. They need platelets. They have a platelet shortage. So they're actually, Amazon is giving a $20 gift card currently when you donate plasma for platelets for the first time. It's going on for the next couple days, I think.
Nice. We appreciate you doing that.
It is. I think the platelet donation is a longer donation. It takes more time.
How long does it take to normally?
Normally, I
Or
think they say
don't
like you want to schedule
do super stuff, don't you?
Huh?
Do you normally do super stuff, or do you do mere mortal?
Regular would be just a whole blood donation.
Yeah. Is that like a 30-minute thing? Is it?
Well, I think they say like schedule an hour because
you go in there, you fill in paperwork.
Yeah, you can speed the process up a little bit with if you do it through the app and stuff. They've got a I can't think what they call it right now, but the basically you can do the paperwork beforehand, or at least most of it.
Like a pre-admission sort of thing.
Yeah, because you got to do the well once you're in the system too.
Okay, yeah.
Then it's quicker.
Yeah, it's like my dentist.
Like what?
Like my dentist.
Yeah.
Like the first time I go in.
First time you got to answer all the questions.
And then once you're in there, then
they
only now look at you at mile disdain instead of full disdain.
But they should still like take your blood pressure and stuff and make sure.
Yeah.
I assume every time you go, make sure that you're okay to donate. And then like 15 minutes. I think you're supposed to stick around about 15 minutes, maybe half an hour afterward. Ideally, it's just to make sure that you don't have any reactions like passing out from giving the blood or anything.
Yeah.
And they have snacks there for you and stuff for free.
When I was young, I would pass out from like shots. I've never passed out from them taking blood, but it's always in the back of my mind.
So I think the whole blood I think is I think they recommend an hour. It says somewhere on their website. They have a lot of information, a lot of good information on their website.
And then the platelets, though, you say that's
yeah, I want to say the power red, which is the double red blood cell donation. You might want to plan like 2 hours, although I think it only takes like 15 additional minutes over the whole blood. And then I think the platelets may be planned for 3 hours, because that actually goes into the machine and like cycles, filters or whatever, and separates the blood, I guess, and then they put the whole, or not whole blood, the plasma and the red blood cells back.
That just doesn't. You know what? I'm okay with you taking the stuff. I don't think I want to get any of it back. If you're going to take it, just keep it, right? We need to have an understanding. But hey, I understand they're doing important stuff, and I don't want to belittle that. But
actually, the Power Red does that a bit too, because that's what I had done before. I thought previously it was a platelet donation. It was actually a Power Red that I had done in the past that also hook you up to a machine, but apparently it doesn't take as long as the platelet one does. It's a different machine, a larger machine for the platelets. I find it fascinating. I think it's really cool process and everything.
yeah, no, indeed. Randy, you had gotten me some airbrush cleaner, right? That was you. This was, I wanted to show you the other bottle, which you can see here is, starting to run down. So that's why I was looking to get some. And I was using this Vallejo cleaner, but this is, well, that you got me here is pretty substantial. One of the things I like about it too, I like this nozzle. I find that this is not as accurate as I would like to be.
You like a good accurate nozzle, do you?
Yeah, it kind of, well, I think it's funny how we try to handle
your nozzle,
the misaiming of nozzles in the men's bathroom, in particular the urinals.
You mean how most people don't seem to bother?
Well, I don't know
aiming
what it is, but it is. I was funny. It's like when you look at the things, women who are listeners, when you have a urinal that's attached to the wall on the floor, there's generally, well, in higher scale places, there's something there because of the splatter, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just funny that that's just the way that we just deal with that. It's just like, oh, there's just a little plastic mat there to catch all your inaccuracies. And it's a really, I don't know, there's something about it. It's just like, oh, this is just the way that it is, and we're all okay that the floor is covered in pee.
Yeah, no, we're not all okay with that.
Thanks, Randy.
We're not all okay with it.
That was I think that was a very organic and honest reply, and I'm proud of you in this moment. You're right. We do not have to be proud of this.
I would much rather pee outside on a tree or something than have to sit there in a stanky situation.
Yeah, this is kind of
people not giving a crap where they're pointing their business. Anyway.
And it was like I was standing on this mat, and it was circles, right? And so it's like it wants to hide it's concealing kind of like what's going on here. I don't know. It was an odd, you know how it is. You're in the bathroom. You're trying to pass the time. On this piece here, Randy, I'm throwing a little bit of green ink on this spot. I noticed that a couple of these in particular kind of have these areas where it's like water is supposed to potentially could be pooling. So I'm going to throw some ink in here to see what I can make happen. So just anybody that's watching is kind of wondering what the hell I'm doing. What's that? Okay, I think we'll just leave that there for now. Maybe add a little bit of blue. Randy, I did want to remind everybody once again about our Patreon. That was a huge achievement for us this week to get that going. It's a big thing for 2020. Big item for us. Big ticket item. So if you want to help support us, support local artists, you can take a look at the tiers that we have. The link is in the Cubelage. Randy verified that it worked. So you can take a look at that. We have the Blando, the Fando, the Lando, the Rando, and the Grando. And as we mentioned, we are the vodcasts. They do get archived. We leave some of them up there, so if you missed like the last one or so, you can catch it. But all the ones from 2019 are in the vaults, and so if you're interested in that, and why the hell wouldn't you be, Randy?
Why not?
The Lando. Look at the Lando, because you are as smooth as a cape-wearing space hustler. Randy, I think that was probably some of the items that I wanted to cover for today. I know that, again, we remind people to like, share, and subscribe. When they subscribe, they get access to that bell notification. And when they click that, they get a little ring-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding. For whom does the bell toll? It tolls for thee, mofo, because you need to be clicking on that button. Right? Right. Okay, so we got that. We got the recommended gear. We got the quasi shop stuff. Again, thanks to everybody on the Instagrams. We hit 200 followers on the Instagrams. That's awesome.
Sweet.
So that's good stuff. If there was anything about today's show that you particularly enjoyed us talking about, put it down in the comments, please. We'd really enjoy hearing that. And I think, Randy, that was all of the necessary rigmarole there at the end.
Cool.
Would you agree?
We did not show any of the pictures from your D&D session.
Let's give a little tease on that. How about that? Can we do a little teaser for anybody that stuck around? We'll give them a little something. And what you could do if you wanted to, Randy, you could take all those pictures that are currently in that folder and dump them into the to delete. I made that this as a folder so you had a quick and easy place to swap.
Right.
And I'll come over and give you an assist on that.
I don't know.
Oh, Randy, also you
that
gave
should be
me
fine.
a sign. That was a
Oh,
Genius at Work sign, which is nice.
It's part of your Christmas present with a caveat.
And I this is the first piece I did it on it.
Wait, I've got all this stuff open trying to do this for you, so I can't see anything right now. It doesn't like this method. Okay, cancel that.
If you go to the desktop,
Yeah, it's
minimize that
It
window.
should be open, right? Which right there.
Yeah. Yeah, and if you scroll to the top, and you could
and think.
Drag this into to delete. It's fine.
Bink.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you could
these
drag any of those, and you could drag it into. You may want to have another folder open, or
should be able to use.
You can also drag it, I think, to the
shared pics.
You can also drag
right
it here. You can drag it to there. That name will actually act as a folder. So, like, if you had that picture here, yeah. So
I got you.
Yeah, you could like right click it to it, drag it, right click it,
yeah,
right click, drag, so on and so forth. So Randy, here you had gave me the Genius at Work sign, so we needed to add some Q sauce. So the first thing I did was add evil to it. Carrie has these wonderful black Post-it notes that she gave me, and so that was the first, perhaps temporary, but
yeah, I gave you that with gave him that with the caveat that he had to augment it
some way.
Several ways.
Add some Q sauce to it. I think
one of which, the simplest of which, was just hang it upside down.
Yeah. It's hard to see that this ink wash is going to look good on these. I'll have to look to see if there's more of them like that. That's an easy, nice way to enhance those. That's done there. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, Randy, if you want to just take a quick look at maybe one of the D&D, I had a couple of the overhead shots that I posted on the Instagram, and they did well. I think one of them got over 100 likes, that's very strong for us.
Let's see, this one looks. It's hard to see these as just small thumbnails and know that I'm choosing the really
they're
good
all
ones.
good. If you look into keepers, you don't look in here, Randy. If you look into keepers, those are ones that I've already pre-sorted and did some light adjustment on.
Oh shit.
So yeah, any of those.
That one and this one.
I went through and took the 80D camera and
oh yeah, these are good.
had had a good photo session. Then I went through and sorted them out, and then took them into Lightroom and did some light adjustments. And we'll be posting a lot of those probably over the next week or so on the Instagrams. Cleaning our brush here. And so what do you got, Randy?
All right, I'll just throw these up. Boop, boop, boop. Copy.
And once again, everybody, we thank you for your time and your attention, hanging out with us. Attention, it's one of the, it's occurring to me that attention is a currency, and it's a big one. It's a huge currency, and we really appreciate you spending some of that currency with us today. So thank you for that. How's it going, Randy? Any luck? That sounds like no.
They're in there.
So they're in. Oh, then okay. So if you switch this from automatic to manual, and then I don't know
tried
why.
closing out. So yeah, you have to do it. That
And then
way,
if
huh?
you and then you can do all your.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. Again, there's a better way. I just this was totally a total workaround sort of scenario, and I was trying to make it at least so it'd be easier. Yeah, I like that one. That looks good. So these are from our we do a D&D session. I'm currently doing it with 3 new players never played before, and it's giving me an opportunity to rerun some of my campaigns I ran the first time I tried the DM about 3 years ago, and we're doing it with some pretty enhanced builds using all of our custom created stuff, Dwarven Forge, there's some other pre-built ruins, and we throw it all together, and they end up being pretty epic builds. Where I think it took us 2 days just to cross the bridge, so they just got over the bridge. It was fun because the bridge was broken to begin with, so they had used Shay has some animal friendship spells, and she had friended a giant spider. And used the giant spider, convinced him to help repair the bridge. Nice. And so they repaired the bridge, and then once they got it, a hill giant was chasing him. So then they set the bridge on fire, and then you can see a little bit of him on that one picture. He's on this. He fell in the water, and so that's just where they ended. They just got over the bridge. It's like build the bridge, destroy the bridge. So it was a lot of fun.
That's cool.
Yeah. So they're just inside now, and they've caught parts of it on fire. In the first session, they had this really cool thing where I think there was something like they got something where you can make any roll be an automatic crit. And so there was a bomber, an alchemist bomber in one of the buildings that was throwing bombs at him. And they threw a bomb at him and was able to make it be an automatic crit, I think. Or they rolled a crit. It was one or the other. And it blew up the room that the alchemist was throwing the bombs in. And so now that building got burnt to a crisp. So that was kind of a fun thing too.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's been a lot of fun, but they're involved boards, but the good thing is that we get several plays out of them. So, and another thing that was actually more impressive, I think, that I've been most proud of with this, Randy, was this. I have the basic core of these are 2x2 XPS foam bases. And stuff's built on them. So at Christmas time, I was actually able to take it apart, store it away in a different room, and bring it back and reassemble it without too much, pain. Yep. So that was, I was very glad I wasn't certain. And actually, one of the things I really like is half of it, I'm using a lot of those Dwarven Forge pieces, and all the Dwarven Forge pieces have these magnets on the bottom. The Crystal Cavern set was my first time to try some of those terrain trays that they have that are like the mouse pad foam, but they have a metal insert in them, and so they're magnetic, and so that helps too, right? Because everything's not shifting around, and it really gives it a heavy anchor. But anyways, so yeah, we'll maybe check out some more of those pictures. We need to be working on our castle, or continue on our castle that we
could talk more about VR. You did get your experience in VR with the PlayStation VR.
And that's the teaser. I did make a purchase. I decided against going PlayStation VR because I don't think Big Moosey Magoosie is going to be good around that. So I got some money for Christmas and I purchased an Oculus Quest. So I have it on order, but it's on back order. But a lot of the games, a lot of the VR games that we're interested in,
That is the wireless one, right?
yeah, are cross compatible.
Yeah,
So like
that's
we can
cool.
still,
Oh, wow.
so we can still play like I think a lot of the games that we want to play together.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
Awesome.
and then it was like it'll be yes, and I thought too it'll let us kind of get an experience of both of them, right?
Yeah, totally.
So yeah, so
I
actually,
think just, I mean,
it
I
says,
can only imagine the Oculus Quest is going to be
There-
better. Just
well,
because
but the thing is actually like the refresh rate is better on the PSR VR.
it's plugged in.
And so it
Yeah,
has
I
a
can see
higher
that,
refresh, but then the resolution on the lenses, I guess, is better on the Quest right now.
Yeah.
So
And
they're
just the
saying
potential freedom of it, the wirelessness of it. With
and it's
the
neat
wire
because like I could take it over to my mom's, right?
not getting in your way and stuff. Yeah.
It'd be easy to do that.
Yeah, and it's standalone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's huge.
I ended up ordering the 64 gig, and it's on back order. So it says it's supposed to ship out by the end of February. So we'll have that to look forward to and play
Nice.
around with a little bit.
Yeah, how's that work? Does it have like how do you switch games out and stuff? If you
I don't know. Let's
Yeah.
talk about that a little bit more
Yeah.
on the next session.
Yep.
We can dive into that more. I think
I
that'll be-
imagine it's like a smart card or something.
You don't have a SIM card. It's got a 64 gig or 128. To do the initial setup, you have to install an Oculus app on your phone, but that's just basically for first time setup. And then you can
Okay.
also use that app to basically purchase games also if you wanted to. But then I think everything you can do from within the OS from within the thing itself.
Oh, okay.
So
Cool.
that
We'll
was
talk
it
about
had
it more.
yeah, it had a little video like a 10-minute like here's how you set up your Oculus, and it looked like it was pretty straightforward. And but yeah, look forward to talking some more. But yeah, I did put a note on there because I did want to revisit that. So
Sweet.
and yeah, I think, and then also there's a couple of Kickstarters that I want us to talk about. That game that I loved as a kid growing up, the Dark Tower. They're doing some sort of Kickstarter about that. So I wanted to talk about that. And there was another Kickstarter that I wanted to mention. I think I have it in the
Hero
notes.
Forge 2.0 colored.
Yeah, Hero Forge. Those are the 3D printed minis. So like that one that I had that was 3D printed.
Yeah.
They're doing color printing now. So we remember how we were just talking about that, right?
Yeah.
They.
What degree? To what degree are they doing
I
it?
think we'll talk about that on the
Yeah.
next stream. So yeah, they
I don't think we talked about that on the stream, did we?
I don't remember. I know that you and I
was
had
curious.
talked about it. Yeah.
I was like, I imagine this is where it's going. It's at some point.
so
like
their Kickstarter launched
to
today.
Yeah.
They launched it, and I don't know much about it other than that I'm backing it. They had an early bird special, like you get a color mini for like $34 or something like that.
Cool.
So I wanted, we want to see it, right? We want to see here in the studio, want to see what that's all about. So I signed up, kind of sight unseen, but I didn't get to get into the details of it. And you haven't been able to get any details up to this point other than it's in color. So there's a whole bunch of pages of information on their campaign. So I just haven't had a chance. It was literally this morning. I just followed it this morning, and it's like, oh yes, please. That one, and then the Dark Tower one. So we'll dig in those, I think, on the Thursday stream.
Sweet.
All right. So unless you have anything else, Randy, I think we will call that a wrap up. Remind everybody, we'll leave everybody with the promise of the good doctor, which is never cowardly, never cruel, never give up, and never give in. Thank you, everybody, for your time and your attention today. Randy, anything else? Any parting words?
Love y'all.
Be good, everybody.
Be good
And we will
yourselves.
talk- And we'll talk to you on Thursday.
Bye.
Bye.